Hey guys, Sincel here again. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to hop into part 3 of the Ultimate Beginner's Guide to Gwent. We'll get right into the gameplay today, and remember that we're using the deck we built in the previous part of the guide. If you haven't seen the deck building guide or basic gameplay mechanics videos, I highly suggest checking those out first. Looking at our hand at the start of the game, it's a pretty good hand for the first round. The only card I really want to get rid of here is one Bruxa. These are low value, low tempo cards that can be very conditional and hard to execute with, so while one is okay to have in hand, two may be too many in a long round. Our first play, since we're going first, will be our Foglet. Normally, we would want to play our Neckers and Drowners first for the Thrive value, but in this case, we want to make sure we have the Foglet on board so we can promptly remove any unit the opponent may put onto the board by using our Foglet and Cyclops combo. This combo is further strengthened by the tactical advantage card we gain from going first. Always make sure to play your Foglet on the melee row if you want to open with a similar strategy, as the Cyclops only has a reach of 2 rows. If we play the Foglet on the ranged row and the opponent plays a unit on his ranged row, we can't do anything about his unit. Our opponent plays King of Beggars, which is an engine that boosts a random unit in his hand by 1 point every turn. Since it's shielded, we need to waste some damage to be able to remove it fully. I opt to use the Drowner, since it has a low damage value of 2 points, to remove the shield, so that we can boost our Foglet and use our Cyclops to fully remove the unit. We boost our Foglet with Weavis, which puts it at 1 point more than King of Beggars. This will allow us to fully remove the unit at the loss of 1 point of value, which is a fine trade-off. Unfortunately, our opponent boosts the unit, and we still have a tactical advantage down, so I opt to use it to boost our Foglet instead. Then waste the 3 points of value on removing his engine. Ultimately, this will save us value over the long round, and we're still fairly far ahead in points, so it's not that big of a deal to waste that 3 points. At this point, our opponent uses his boost to create one tall unit, which makes me think that he's trying to find a way to play a card or multiple cards with the dominance mechanic. We answer with a taller unit to deny him value from dominance. He plays the same unit as us, so one option we have here is to use Alzur's Double Cross to pull an even taller unit from our deck, but I opt to play our Wild Hunt Riders instead. It's important to note that in a tie for dominance, the Wild Hunt Rider and all cards with the dominance mechanic will still work as though you have dominance. This gets another card out of the deck and is an effective method of thinning, just as our Foglet was. To explain thinning a little bit more, it's the basic idea or concept that by removing as many cards as possible from your deck in round 1 or 2, you'll have a higher chance of drawing higher value cards in the last round. At this point, our opponent passes, and we move to round 2. Looking at our hand in round 2, we want to eliminate the lowest value cards. In this case, that's going to be the Bruxa once again. We drew Azrael, which is good for us, as it allows us a strong round 3 finisher while also being able to use our tallest unit in our deck during round 2. We open the round with our only Thrive unit in hand to ensure we get at least some value out of it. I opt to play into this round, even though we're down 2 cards, just to bleed the opponent. I know that going into a short round 3, we have the stronger deck. Our opponent plays his main engine, Imlerith. This card does 2 damage per turn if our opponent has dominance. We play Wispus in response so that he loses dominance, and unless he heals or boosts his unit, we can directly remove it. Our opponent boosts and shields Imlerith, then plays a unit that establishes dominance for him.
There is no escape.
At this point, I want to play my tallest unit to deny his dominance value, and then we'll pass out of the round. This is best to ensure we maintain card advantage in round 3, and set up our Azrael by establishing a tall unit in the graveyard.
You best yield now.
Resistance is futile.
Once again, we simply remove some low value units from hand in round 3. In this case, our Drowner.
There is no escape.
We open with Brewis. Normally, we would want to use Brewis in round 1, but we didn't draw her until round 3. It's best to play her first at this point, since she would consume 3 units when played if we had any allied units on the board. Playing her now avoids us having to consume units and giving our opponent a very tall unit to target with removal. Since we have 2 cards that gain value from us having the higher unit, I opt to play Azrael early in the round and establish dominance. We use our dominance unit while we know we can maintain dominance, and our opponent instantly removes it, which isn't that big of a deal. At this point, I boost the Cyclops since it's our least valuable card in our hand, and play it onto its own row, since it won't find value any other way. Our opponent plays out his hand, and we don't even have to play our final card to win. At this point, it's GG's, and we can move on to the next game. I hope this gameplay guide was really helpful for you guys. Even though it was a rather easy matchup, seeing a deck in action can help to understand it better than just reading through the cards. The next part of the guide will cover other resources for teaching yourself advanced mechanics as you learn to play the game and build more diverse decks. As always, guys, thanks for watching, and if you ever want to see me play Gwent and other games, join our community or keep up with my content, check out my live stream on Twitch, join our Discord, and follow me on Twitter. Thanks again, guys. Have a good one.
Oh, dude, 4 strength, 4 stam, leather belt. Level 18. Belt, leather belt, leather belt, 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 belt. Oh, dude. Level 18. Belt, leather belt, leather belt, 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 level 18. Oh, dude. 4 strength, 4 stam, belt.